What's good, my G's? You guys have seen it on social media where all these other big red pill creators always talk about how you have to have your looks, your money, and your status on point to date attractive women. And I hate to agree with them, but they're right. These things help tremendously when you're trying to attract and hook and retain high quality women. Now, I don't want you guys to focus so much on these things because it's not the end all be all when it comes to dating. But as I said, these things do help a lot. Now, there's a meme that's been going around where this guy is mad frustrated because he met a girl that's a 10 out of 10, but he's not where he wants to be at in life. And I think a lot of people can relate to this because let's say things aren't going so great. Let's say your finances aren't on point. Let's say you haven't been taking care of yourself. You don't have your hair on point. You don't have your style on point. You know, your business may be failing. You're not in the gym, right? And let's say you meet that amazingly hot girl that you've always wanted, but because you're not where you're at, it falls through, right? Now, I think there's two sides to this coin because on one end, some people can argue and say, well, the right girl, she's gonna love you for who you are. And then there's other people who are gonna say, well, you wanna level up and become a 10 yourself in order to get other 10s. And I think there's truth to both sides. However, expecting women to see your potential, to see the real you and love you for who you are, I think that's extremely rare and quite difficult to find. And you're gonna be literally sifting through a haystack trying to find that needle, but the needle is the girl, right? So I think as a man, it is your duty, especially if you want to be the most successful version, the best version of yourself, it's your duty to take responsibility for yourself, for your life, for the things that you're doing, and go out and go get shit done. And this comes down to, as we said before in the beginning of the video, right? So again, getting your money right, making sure you have good income where you can support yourself as a baseline, hitting the gym. I'm not saying you gotta be 220, under 10% body fat, jacked as fuck, but at least get to a point where you're healthy, where you can have a good physique, where your skin is clear. And obviously, if you have a nice V-taper and a six-pack, that's gonna, make you way more attractive and help you stand out. But at least get to these minimum baseline points, man. And then also the same is your mindset. You wanna make sure you see value in yourself. And I'm not talking money, I'm talking about accomplishments, accolades, things that people compliment you on. Highlight those characteristics about yourself. Reiterate them to yourself so that way you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I am the best. I am a fucking G. I am amazing. And today is gonna be an amazing day. Because if you have that mindset when you go out into the world, when you go talk to women, when you go throughout your life, you are going to be extremely attractive and magnetic, and you're going to attract people and women into your life. So I hope these points kind of make sense because I see a lot of guys who show up in my comment section or who send me messages on my social medias, and a lot of guys, they hyper fixate on their height or their looks. And again, these things are important, but I believe, in my opinion, as a man, you should focus on the things that you can actually control. If you're short, and again, I think if you're 5'8", like kind of in that range, your height is fine, man. I know women online, they'll say you have to be at least 6'3" and all this bullshit. But the reality is, look, man, there are plenty of women who don't have delusional, unrealistic standards and will like you for being a well-accomplished guy who has a lot going on, but you might be 5'8". In fact, I have clients who are 5'7", 5'8", in that ballpark, and they do perfectly fine with women. The height thing never comes up. And in my opinion, I think these things only come up if you make it a big deal, and if you have an insecurity in your mind, you're going to bring that same kind of energy into your interactions, and people will notice that, and will roast you or will potentially put you down. So this is why having a rock solid mindset where you are confident and you believe that you're a fucking G is so important. Now, obviously, doing everything else that we mentioned is also extremely important and will make you more attractive. But I just see a lot of guys, man, they always complain about their looks and this and that. And it's like, look, man, in my opinion, I don't think it's that hard to level up. Like, again, I mentioned this in my last video. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a fire video. But I think every man, they can level themselves up at least 2 or even 3 points on the hotness scale or attractiveness scale, right? And again, if you start hitting the gym for 6 months to a year consistently, if you get a haircut that matches your face shape, that looks good for you, if you style your beard, you know what I'm saying? If you start to improve your style, if you get high quality photos for your dating apps, and you start to work on your business or work harder at your job, or you get a new job to make more money to elevate your lifestyle, then all these things are gonna fall into your lap. You're gonna go from a 7 to a 9. You're gonna go from a 5 to a 7 or an 8. And dude, those few points of difference are gonna completely change the kind of attention that you get from people in general and from the kind of women that are going to be attracted to you. So don't neglect this, bro. Look, man, my channel is self-development. It's dating and lifestyle. If you watch this channel, you're here for a reason because you're curious and you want to grow and you want tips so that way you can have the dating life of your dreams. Well, start with the basics, man. Start overcoming any limiting beliefs you have and start going outside and start talking to people, being social, and start talking to women that you find attractive. Don't wait for them to pass you by and then make a video on TikTok and be like, yo guys, come find her, bro, come find her. Bro, she's right there. Just talk to her and see what can happen, man. I think it's so crazy that people will like literally have a hot girl right in front of them and they won't even talk to the girl and they'll expect social media to do the heavy lifting for them. And even if they do find the girl, what are they expecting to happen? That the girl sees them and they fall in love over some weird fucking video on TikTok? Probably not, man. So, look, man, at the end of the day, if you want to level up your life, start with the basics. As I mentioned, start hitting the gym, get your haircut, get your money up, get your clout up, get your status, looks, money, status, right? These things help. But your mindset and mastering cold approaching is gonna set you far apart from any other men who is doing the same things. Because to be honest with you, very few men actually cold approach. And very few men do it correctly in a way that isn't creepy, isn't too forward or too thirsty. And the hot girls are literally waiting for you right now, who's watching. She's waiting for you to level up and pull up on her and be smooth and confident and just normal about it, bro. Look, man, there's 8 billion people on planet Earth. Half of them are women. That's 4 billion. Another half of them, let's say they're single. So 2 billion. Half of that over 18, 1 billion. And 20% of them are 8s, 9s, and 10s. 200 million women are literally waiting for you, bro. So what are you gonna do about it, man? Are you gonna level up and go get them? Or are you gonna keep jerking off and watching porn and get back on Xbox and wasting your life away and then complaining about it on social media? The choice is yours, man. It's not my life, it's your life, and you have to make that decision. So that's the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.